So we'll start where we left off on page 91 with part C. We need to start with the curved part, and that's this part right here. But we need to recognize that this is really part of a circle with a radius of 70. So for step 1, we need to take half the stock, so 12.5 divided by 2 gives us 6.25. We need to add that on to the radius of the circle, so we get 76.25, and we need to find the circumference using that radius. Two times pi times r, and that gives us 479.0928. Okay, then we need to figure out what part of the circle we have. We have 1/4 of the circle here, so we're going to take 1/4 times this 479.0928, and we get 119.7732. Now you notice I'm always writing several numbers. You want to not round until the very end of the problem. Step 3 says to add the straight pieces on. So here's a straight piece, and here's a straight piece. So we'll have 119.7732, and we'll add the 120, and we'll add the 100. And that gives us 339.7732. Directions say round to the nearest tenth, so the 7 tells us to go up, and we would have 339.8 millimeters. We'll do one more. Again, we need to look for the curve, the circle part first. This 18 goes all the way across the circle, so we want to break that up to find the radius of the circle. We want to take the stock length and divide by 2. And then we want to add those two together to give us our new radius, and we'll find the circumference using that radius. That's 61.26105. Alright, now this is not a whole circle though, it's only this part of a circle, it's half a circle. So in step 2, we'll take 1/2 of that 61.26105, and that gives us 30.6305. Now the last step, step 3, is that we want to add these straight pieces on to that 30. So we have 30.6305 plus 16 plus 16. And that gives us 62.6305. Final step is to look at our place value to round. We went to the nearest tenth. The 3 after us tells us to stay the same. So our final answer here would be 62.6 millimeters. Area of a circle is pi times r squared. So we have to have the radius, and then we square it and multiply by pi. So here we're going to round to the nearest thousandth. Notice that the 10 is all the way across the circle, so we're going to divide it by 2 before we start. So then we have pi times my radius squared, and you can type that into your calculator all at once. And we get 78.539816. Nearest thousandth is right here. So this 8 tells us to go up. When 9 goes up to a 10, it changes the number next to it also. So we have 78.540. Area is in square units, so this is in square inches. And that 0 on the end is important because we have to have a number in the thousandth spot to show how we rounded. Part B works the same way, only this time we're given the radius. So we'll just take pi times 17 squared. and that gives us 907.92027. We want to round to the nearest thousandth, so that's right here. The 2 afterwards tells us to keep it the same. So we'd have 907.920 square inches. Again, the 0 on the end is important because we have to have a number in the thousandths spot. Okay, so here, this 19 goes all the way across the circle. So we need to take 19 and divide by 2. And then we can find our area. So we have pi times 9.5 squared. And that gives us 283.5287. Now the problem is that we don't have a whole circle here. We really only have half the circle. So we want to do 1/2 of 283.528737. You just multiply by 0.5 in your calculator. And that gives us 141.764368. The nearest thousandth is here. 3 afterwards tells us to stay the same. So 141.764 square centimeters. Here it tells us to use centimeters. Okay, in D we're already given the radius because we need to picture this as part of a circle. So this is the center of the circle to the outside edge. So we'll just do pi times 2.2 squared. And that gives us 15.205308. Now this is 1/4 of a circle here, so we want to do 1/4 times 15.205308, or 0.25 times it. And that gives us 3.801327. Here's the thousandth spot. The 3 at the end tells us to stay the same, so we have 3.801 square centimeters.